A week ago, Benjamin Netanyahu was sworn in for a record 5th term as Israel's Prime Minister after a political battle which lasted 17 months and through 3 inconclusive elections. But his legal battle is only intensifying. Sunday is day 1 of his trial in 3 separate corruption cases. In the first, he's accused of asking for and accepting lavish gifts from rich acquaintances. The charges: fraud and breach of trust. The same charges apply in the second case, in which he's alleged to have conspired with a newspaper owner to hamper the operations of a rival, demanding favourable press coverage in return. The third case is the most serious, carrying the additional charge of bribery. He's accused of trading regulatory concessions worth hundreds of millions of dollars to Israel's most powerful telecoms boss in return for extraordinary influence over the news coverage on his website, Walla. Netanyahu denies all the charges.
As long as he's Prime Minister, what if there's a second wave of corona? Will he freeze the courts as he did in March, which delayed the opening of the trial by 2 months? If there's conflict in Gaza, if there's conflict with Iran, will that slow his trial?
Under the terms of the new government coalition deal, Netanyahu will be Prime Minister for 18 months before swapping with his former rival, now alternate Prime Minister Benny Gantz. Netanyahu's prime ministerial status could allow him to argue for trial delays in the national interest and gives him influence over senior legal appointments. Israelis have seen scandals engulf senior politicians before, but never before a sitting prime minister in office in charge of fateful national decisions, while at the same time sitting in the dock in court, a defendant in a criminal case that could end up in his imprisonment. Ehud Olmert resigned as Prime Minister in 2008 when he was investigated for bribery while mayor of Jerusalem. He was convicted in 2014, serving 16 months in jail. Under Israeli law, Netanyahu would not have to step down unless he'd been convicted and had exhausted all possible appeals. This legal fight is set to loom large throughout what he says will be his final term in office. Fawcett, Al Jazeera, West Jerusalem.